What's going on, guys? Datcoopguy here, and today we're going to be doing a quick look at Remnant 2, showcasing a lot of its features and gameplay and aspects so that you want to jump in and play this game because it is so good, so good. So, without further ado, let's dive in and show you what this game has to offer. So, jumping into character creation, the first thing is obviously you get to choose a body type and a bunch of different voices, which I rather like because a lot of the voices are unique and makes it to where everybody's not a defaulted boy. On top of that, you're able to do multiple different faces with different skin tones, hairstyles and color, and of course scars and markings. Overall, I was rather impressed with the amount of choices that you could do with designing your character. Most of the time you're going to be wearing a helmet over your stuff and you're not going to be able to see it, but there are a lot of classes that have it to where you can still see your face, which I think was a welcome change. It makes it to where a lot of people have individuality and was overall a very big bonus in this game. So let's talk about combat. Combat is super duper smooth. On top of that, you get to choose your class at the beginning, having it to where you have a bunch of unique skills. So my one friend was the handler, I was the challenger, I was an upfront fighter, and he was more of a back range fighter with as a attack dog that would help support us. And from there, we were able to do lots of fun combinations when engaging into combat. From there, it's very smooth with a variety of different skills and mod usage that you can use it to where you have multiple different ways of playing your character. And on top of it, it has a good amount of monster variety to keep you on your toes and keep you active when jumping into the combat. But the real reason you play Remnant is for the boss fights. The boss fights are so good in this game, and they're very unique. You usually have like a cutscene that plays in the beginning, and then you have this big old boss in front of you with all of its different mechanics, and it has multiple different stages and different encounters that make it to where the fight gets harder and harder as time goes on. It's definitely a challenge. You definitely are running around, running and gunning and shooting your way through this entire process. But one of the things that I rather like is whenever I would die, I'd kind of go back and kind of figure out different plans of how I was going to deal with these bosses. And I think that's very good, especially mechanically in a game. On top of that, the rewards are pretty good as well. You'll usually get a Tome of Traits, which allows you to upgrade your character more. And on top of it, they would give you either a weapon or a sort of mod that is able to even power up your character even more. So overall, the boss fights feel very smooth, very good, and they are a very rewarding experience. One of my favorite additions in Remnant 2 has got to be the side quests and the puzzles. There's so many in this world that you'll kind of like miss a lot of them, or you'll be kind of going crazy trying to figure out a lot of the different ones out there. In the example that I'm showing here, I found this madman in a tunnel, and he was describing how there is this like dark whispering sprite and it needs to be brought into the light. Took us forever to kind of figure it out. I was kind of running around with this buff on top of my character and didn't quite know what to do with it. After almost an hour of running around, we eventually found out that there's this giant light that was above that area of the madman, and that when you walk into it, it actually expunges the light from you, and you're able to get an item. You can then trade that to the madman and get a really powerful ring. So overall, I really like this aspect as it kind of makes you really run around the world and try to explore every nook and cranny and try to solve every puzzle, because the rewards are actually pretty good and rewarding for the experience, which is a very welcome change. One thing that you should take into note is also make sure to inspect the items in your inventory. There's a ton of items that you'll pick up along your journey, and you'd be surprised at the number of times that you'd miss it and end up having to check it later, and you find out that, oh, the safe combination was on this item the entire time, or oh, I could have gotten an item based off of just inspecting this severed hand that I had, for example. Very interesting, and make sure to always check your inventory as well. But overall, in conclusion, Remnant 2 is a very fun run-and-gun adventure with a lot of Souls-like aspects, especially while waiting for the new Elden Ring DLC or waiting for the next Dark Souls game. I highly recommend checking this game out, as it has a unique amount of twists and things to keep it interesting, a lot of different class variety in gameplay, and a lot of puzzle solving and replayability with a lot of its different items in procedurally generated world. Overall, though, this is just a quick look at the game, so it's all up to you in the future to discover the secrets within the game going forward. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. And have fun adventuring in Remnant 2.